I always seem to be doing these things at 7:15 in the morning, don't I? Actually, I thought I'd do a bit of a motorcycle musings video. I've not done one for a while, and they seem to be. I was looking at my analytics. They seem to be my most popular videos in terms of views. Slightly longer in form. Interesting things happening with my channel at the minute, actually. So on the 16th of March, so that's over this weekend, I'll have been YouTubing, if you like, for 2 months. And in that 2 months, I think I've done quite well. I'm touching, at time of writing, time of speaking, 89 subscribers, which I don't think is too bad. It'd be lovely if it had break the 100 mark. I'm hoping to do that this weekend because I've got a few things planned. Certainly in terms of the 2 months I've been up and the 30, I think I've posted 33 videos. I'm up to close to 10,000 views. So that's really, really good. So thanks very much for everyone who's been tuning in. If you like, I hope you continue to do so. As I say, I do this more for fun than anything else. And the other thing I think, because I'm getting older, I'm thinking about legacy as well. I'm always thinking about legacy. Like the most precious thing to me is my daughter. And like so I'm an older dad, and I worry about I worry that I'm going to snuff it before I've kind of seen her on her way in life, if you think. And so I'm always thinking about legacy. And these videos are partially that. So I'd like to think that as she gets older, she can get a little bit of an insight into her dad's kind of mind, if you like. Really, that's just the way I think. Anyway, so we have got a few things planned this weekend. I've got a weekend free. I've actually taken the afternoon off today. I've got a training course which I'm conducting this morning, and then after that I'm finishing for the day, and I'm going to be on the bike all weekend. So I've got lots of videoing to do. Kind of the renovation of the CB750. I'm hoping next week to fit the exhausts as well. I might have to take a day off to do that. And Les, if you're watching, I'll be calling on you to see if you're free to give us a hand. Actually, it'll be because they're long, so it'll be a 2-person job. So, what are we going to talk about today? I think what it is, it's about how we see ourselves. And I've called this video more about are you a motorcyclist or a biker? So how do we see ourselves? So when you're referring to yourself, what you do with motorbikes, well, I guess the first thing is, what do you call the thing you sit on? You know, the thing with 2 wheels and a big engine in the middle. What do you call it? Do you call it a motorbike? Do you call it a motorcycle? Because I think this is kind of quite interesting. Obviously, the correct term is a motorcycle, or if you were obviously in continental Europe, it's called a moto. Hence the term MotoGP. I actually say I preferred it the days when it was the motorcycling Grand Prix. I preferred that. I don't never liked the term MotoGP. It just doesn't do it for me. And I think that comes from the days when Britain was actually a force in kind of Grand Prix bike racing. We're not anymore. So what do you call the thing you sit on? Well, I always called it a motorcycle. But of recent years, and I think it's because I've found that the term motorbike is apparently quite a British term. Most other countries don't use the term motorbike, except the British for some reason. And I have to say, I've warmed to to the term motorbike. I like it, you know, and it's because it is more uniquely British. I'm sure it is used other places, but most overwhelmingly more commonly in Britain. So people who ride motorbikes call them motorbikes, but also non-riders, you know, your man and woman in the street, they'll probably call them motorbikes as well, rather than motorcycles. And so, like, I want to reclaim the term motorbike. I like motorbike, despite the fact that even my channel's name is called Motorcycles, Kickstart Motorbikes. I'm not going to change it now anyway. So yeah, and I think it's because I personally think for the motorbike and motorcycling. So yeah, I think it's a motorbike, and what you do on it is motorcycling, and what you are is a motorcyclist riding a motorbike. I always think of Britain as being the spiritual home of the motorbike, and not just Britain. I actually think it's actually more England. Really, England is the spiritual home of the motorbike. Purely because all the great names in British biking were essentially English, as far as I'm aware anyway. I'm sure there may have been Welsh or kind of Scots producers, maybe small niche ones, I don't know. But certainly if you're thinking about kind of BSA, Birmingham, kind of Norton, Nottingham, Coventry, Triumph, kind of Leicestershire, Dot Motorcycles, Manchester. I think was it. Oh, what was the aerial? I can't remember. Certainly, Matchless AJS. They were London, weren't they? Plumstead. Was it? Oh God, what was the Bradford-based one? There was a Bradford-based one. Obviously, Brough Superior, Vincent. They're all English brands. And I think that's where the mystique of motorcycling came, that particular area, that kind of, just that pre-war to the 1970s. That was obviously the kind of classic period. And I always think that's when motorbikes came of age, really, and it is strongly linked with Britain. So, what do we call ourselves if we're talking about a motorbike? What do we call ourselves, the people who ride it? In this country, I think the term biker has taken hold, and I've never liked it. I've never referred to myself as a biker. I don't like people referring to me as a biker. I always prefer to call myself a motorcyclist who rides a motorbike. But there are terms, so there's biker is one, motorcyclist. If you're obviously more into sports bikes, and that's what your primary focus on, you may call yourself a racer. Believe it or not, in the Mediterranean areas like kind of southern France, Spain, and some parts of Italy, they often refer to themselves as pilots. And that's quite a nice term, isn't it? And it's got connotations of like kind of single seat fighters from the Great War, pilots. I like that, but it's not something that's taken hold in the UK anyway. But also you've got kind of subcultures within the kind of motorbiking community. So you've got, like, in this country, you used to have the term greaser, and that was like kind of quite apt because if you're riding a motorbike, particularly a bloody British bike, he'll generally be covered in oil, no matter what you do. What you do doesn't happen on a Honda. That you can stay nice and clean on a Honda. So greaser. The other terms A rocker. No, I don't know if it was common term, but obviously you've got the mods and rockers kind of thing. So people may have referred to themselves as rockers. I don't know. More American thing, obviously they've got the outlaw kind of motorcyclist kind of culture. The 1% MCs. Not something you kind of commonly see in the UK, although I do know there are chapters of those kind of, what you term outlaw motorcycle gangs. In actual fact, when I was a young man in Liverpool, I used to go drinking. Well, I still go there. When I go back to Liverpool, I still go drinking in the Swan pub in Wood Street in the city centre. Famous pub. Always like a kind of a motorcyclist hangout, bike place. And there used to always be bikes parked outside there, but now the roadworks area is developed. You can't do it anymore. It's all yellow line down there. But there used to be another club called Freewheelers or Night Riders. Can't remember. It was one or the other. Used to go upstairs to it. And in there, I used to go in there quite a bit, actually. And there used to be one bloke in there who was an angel. How's it? Genuine, like the death head, the top and bottom rocker, all this kind of stuff. The local chapter. I have to say, he was very nice. I used to play pool with him occasionally. Wouldn't say much, but he was all right. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of it, but no, he was okay. So maybe this is the thing, like how we want to see ourselves, because obviously a lot of that is about kind of looking tough, looking intimidating and everything. I certainly don't see myself like that. I think motorbiking lends itself to cosplay. And I think a lot of people get involved in that with motorbiking. So obviously you've got those people who ride sports bikes, love the kind of Power Ranger look. You've got like kind of more like myself. I used to do the Power Ranger stuff as well because I used to ride sports bikes. But I tend to ride more traditional bikes nowadays. So my attire, if you like, has changed to reflect that. There's another term which the French use, which is actually quite nice. Actually, it would never translate over here. It's called the blouson noir, the black jackets. And that refers to essentially what we in the UK would probably call a rocker or a greaser, but the blouson noir. It's great, doesn't it? Sounds lovely. Wouldn't fly over here, but it's that kind of thing. But I have to say, out of all the kind of the subcultures and everything, that's probably the one I gravitate towards more, purely because there's a lot of nostalgia about it. Because I was born in the mid to late 60s. So I can remember like kind of the remnants of that kind of culture, the kind of the record races, that kind of stuff. I've got the remnants of a memory of that in my mind from childhood. It's become stronger in the mid 70s, and that's why I like the Japanese superbikes like the Honda. CB750, I like the Suzuki, the GT and the GS 750s. For some reason, I've always had a thing for 750. It always seems to be like the perfect capacity to me. So how do you see yourself? It's funny, because if I have to say the one the look I'm more, as I say, always been attracted to is that more kind of, the black Brando style jacket, either jeans or leather jeans, boots. So quite conservative, really. I like a face scarf as well. I like open face helmets. I like kickstarts. You know, if your bike's got a kickstart, it's one of the best things ever. I love kickstarts because, yeah, and again, it's cosplay. Yeah, starting a bike on an electric start, it's great, lovely and convenient. Doesn't look very good there, but if you can master the art of the kickstarts, both of when you're standing at the side of a bike, that kind of kickstart. But the best one is when you're on the bike and you can jump, find the compression, pump, bang, off it goes. That's the best thing ever. That really, it really is. But yeah, so how do I see myself? Well, as a younger man, I would have seen myself. Oh, I look great on this. I look fantastic. I remember when I had a Triumph Speed Triple, a Mark One. It was a big bike, that top heavy. I didn't get on with it in terms of riding it, but it looked lovely and it looked menacing, and it was in black, all black. The engine casings were black as well, and you know, you match that up with like kind of your traditional British biker look. It did look good. I go, oh god, this yeah, I look really cool on this. I can't pull that off now. Firstly, I'm too old, too fat, and too short as well. When I was younger, when I was thinner, I looked more in proportion, but now I less so. So I kind of see myself more as I enter my kind of like sort of latter stages, like if you like, there's more. That old man who's just like loves motorbikes, and I can see myself eventually, like, because I've got a shed with my bike here. You know, if I eventually move somewhere a bit smaller, which I'm hoping to, you know, if it's not got a garage or something, I'll probably have the bike in the living room with me. I know I will, actually. I'll turn into one of those men who's like that's kind of quite happy to do that. I'm watching bloody videos of the TT from the 1970s. So that'll be me. And I think I'm kind of quite happy with that. I saw how others see us. I saw a news report of a young man, I think in his early 20s. He'd been disqualified from riding his license. And he managed to get hold of a high-powered motorbike. And, you know, this he couldn't handle it. And he managed to plough into people, and I think there was fatalities as well. I didn't like reading it. I found it quite upsetting, really. I had the guy's photograph, and you can tell, you know, all your prejudices, you can tell by looking at him. He was like kind of, you know, a waste of space. But I think it was a woman he killed, an elderly woman, at a crossing. He ploughed into her at a crossing. And I was thinking, God, you know, this kind of fella. I've never liked that aspect of motorbiking. When I kind of started riding properly, sports white bikes were the thing. So those people I learned to ride with in riding school. They were more primarily focused on going as fast as possible and being as dangerous as possible. And I like sports bikes, but I like them for what they are. I used to do track days. I used to enjoy riding fast on track days because it's a controlled environment. If you're going to hurt anyone, it's probably going to be yourself rather than innocent bystanders. And so it's the only time I've ever gone beyond legal speeds. When I ride my motorbike on the road, I stick to it. I don't see the point in, I've had lots of bikes that can easily do 150 miles an hour plus. But I don't, I think it's really irresponsible, the idea of trying to do anything like that, or even going above the speed limit on public roads, because not just yourself you're thinking of, you've got to think about other people. And I think I'm going to do a video on kind of road safety, because there's been a few things I've seen in Facebook groups that have been really concerning about people's attitudes to the highway code. So the only times I've actually been like kind of extremely fast on a bike is on a track, and at the Isle of Man. Oh God, yeah, I did Mad Sunday twice, two different years. I don't know if they do it anymore, but bloody hell, like so never again. Yeah, people might as well. There were some blokes there. They might as well have put bloody, white bandana on with a big red spot, banzai, like suicidal. Yeah, but I remember that the fastest I've ever been on a motorbike, I think, was there, and it was coming down Hillbury in the Isle of Man, and I was on a Kawasaki ZZR 600. And I went above 130, possibly 135. Come down the hill at Hillbury, and the scary part of it is that was a 600cc bike, and I wasn't at the stop. So that bike could have probably gone. Yeah, could have gone above 150 quite easily. But never again. No, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, so how do others see us? So I don't want members of the public, normal road going people, to see me as an irresponsible motorcyclist. I want them to see me as being, because there are far few of us now, as being a responsible road user. So no, I don't engage in that kind of stuff really. I don't like people who do. And it also goes back to this thing we've mentioned in previous videos about how you attract new people into motorbikes. And to be honest, most people come in because they covet what they see. And certainly I got into it in the 70s because I saw motorbikes that looked really beautiful. Those 70s bikes, from the 60s into the 70s, there's still not many kind of top that in terms of, the blend of kind of form and function. And you had a lot going on. You had Barry Sheene, twice world champion. You had Phil Reed, world champion in the 70s. You had the kind of the TT as its absolute height, despite the fact that it lost its world championship status. And it was my formative years. In 1976, I was 10 years old. So I was absorbing all this like a sponge. And I coveted what I would see. And so that's what I've kind of become, really. Now, if you've got young people looking at what they see, when they see motorbikes now, they say, firstly, either knobheads being a pain in the arse, or you see reactionary old men being a pain in the arse as well. So no wonder motorbiking in this country is kind of on its dying kind of death throes. So anyway, bit of a long and rambling thing. So I'm a motorcyclist that rides a motorbike, and I think we should reclaim the term motorbike. Actually, it's more of a British thing, really. I'm very proud of our kind of British motorcycling heritage. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. It'd be really helpful if you liked and subscribed. Yeah, even if you don't like it, put a don't like down, because I've got lots of ideas for videos going forward, and it'd be nice if I could break, certainly as I come up to my 2-month anniversary, if I could break the 100 subscriber mark. So really grateful if you could do that. So, and share the video as well. That'd be good. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.